What's up everybody, I'm Stella Chung and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Sony is retiring the PS5 Accolades feature because no one seemingly noticed that it existed. Plus, a fan has hand-drawn all the Simpsons hit-and-run cutscenes. In the entertainment world, the Batgirl standalone film has been officially cancelled, and Will Smith has finally apologized to Chris Rock for the slap. I hope you're staying safe out there, and let's jump right into it.
Sony will be retiring PS5's Accolades feature later this year. What are PS5 Accolades, you ask? Yeah, that's why they're being retired. Accolades were initially introduced to foster a more positive multiplayer gaming experience by encouraging players to send one of 3 accolades to a fellow gamer based on their performance in an online match. The accolade could read helpful, welcoming, or good sport. You could see what accolades a player had earned by looking at their profile. But no one used it. And I have to admit, I've had my PS5 since launch and I never heard of this feature. Even looking for news stories about the PS5 from back in 2020, I could barely find any mention of PS5 Accolades. So, Sony announced it is pulling the plug on the feature in the coming months. A statement on PlayStation.com reads, "In fall of 2022, the Accolades feature on PlayStation 5 will no longer be supported. The feature hasn't seen the level of usage we anticipated, so we are refocusing our efforts. We encourage the community to continue to send positive messages to one another." Okay, I'll start. Hey you, watching this IGN video, have you been working out? You look great, and I love what you've done with your hair. Anyway, pour one out for PlayStation Accolades, gone too soon. I would say they'll be missed, but... In other news, the upcoming Gotham Knights might be an action RPG, but it won't follow the genre convention of having your characters start off as weaklings. Instead, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood will all be the powerful Batman acolytes you'd expect right from the get-go, and they'll each find their own unique ways to become stronger over the course of the game. All 4 characters begin more or less fully adept at what the development team informally calls Batman stuff, with unique skill trees allowing them to blossom into different kinds of vigilantes as you progress. Speaking to us as part of our month of IGN First coverage on Gotham Knights, creative director Patrick Redding explained the thought process. He said, "It was very important for us that these heroes, our knights, are already awesome at the start of the game. It's not a function of them being ineffective as crime fighters, quite the opposite. They are all effectively graduates of the Batman school of crime fighting. So when they start, they're at their most similar, in the sense that they have a lot of these basic tools of combat and stealth, and moving around in the world and using their grapple. And then it's really over the course of the game that they fully diverge into their own flavor of what a Dark Knight of Gotham City should be." Delicious. Well, that makes sense. This isn't an origin story for these characters, so unless they did the old taste of power trope, where they start you off all powerful and then strip you of your abilities and items, see Symphony of the Night, just let the knights be badass from the beginning. Gotham Knights is out October 25th for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. Before that, however, we'll have the whole month of August to show you new gameplay, in-depth information, and more as part of IGN First. You guys like The Simpsons Hit and Run. I know this because the last time we covered it, when it was being remade in Unreal Engine 5, it was one of our biggest fixes of the year. So you would think Disney, or EA maybe, it's actually a bit of a mystery where the video game rights to The Simpsons lie these days, Disney or EA would actually want to remake it or at least remaster it for modern consoles. Instead, Hero fans will continue updating the 2003 GTA-like, and the latest one is a real work of passion. The YouTube channel El Gato de Tejado is creating a remaster mod for The Simpsons Hit and Run, while also hand-drawing every cutscene in the classic Simpsons style. This video shows their progress so far and explains the complications that occur when remastering a near 2-decade-old game by yourself. It will be 2 decades old next year. One of these issues occurred as El Gato began work on Hit and Run's cutscenes, which are a crude 3D in the original version. They don't have much experience with 3D animation, so decided to go the classic 2D route. The result are cutscenes that look like a regular-ass Simpsons episode instead of a poorly aged early 2000s video game. However, outside of cutscenes, El Gato is updating the original 3D look of the game. They haven't offered a timeline for how long the project might take, but have opened up Patreon to help fund the project. Maybe someday Disney will realize how many fans want an updated Hit and Run, or heck, even a new game. Until then, El Gato, you are the cat's meow, and we salute you. In other news, Sony says it's increasing production of PlayStation 5 and is, quote, working to bring forward more supply into the year-end holiday season. To which I say, duh. When is Sony not trying to increase PS5 production? Anyway, during its latest earnings results, Sony explained that both software sales and gameplay engagement have dropped year on year. Not a surprise given the huge increase in gaming during COVID-19 lockdowns. Sony explained, taking this situation into account, we intend to take action to increase user engagement in the second half of the fiscal year, during which major titles including first-party software are scheduled to be released, primarily by increasing the supply of PS5 hardware and promoting the new PlayStation Plus service. Now those first-party titles are The Last of Us Part 1 Remake in September and God of War Ragnarok in November. Sony says it still expects to meet its forecast of 18 million units sold during this financial year and is seeing positive signs for supply after lockdowns lifted in Shanghai, a major components production hub. Since its launch in November 2020, just over 20 million PS5s have been sold, so another 18 million by the end of March 2023, when Sony's fiscal year ends. Sounds like a tall order to this guy.
The August 2022 lineup for PlayStation Plus has been revealed, and it'll be headlined with Yakuza Like a Dragon. Released in 2020, it's the latest entry in the long-running Yakuza series. You play as former gangster Ichiban Kasuga, who has just been released from prison after 18 years behind bars. A lot has changed since his stay in prison, with Ichiban's former friends and allies now conspiring against his clan. We gave Yakuza Like a Dragon a positive review, saying it, quote, takes some bold steps in a new direction for the series. A goofy gangster beat-em-up RPG not your thing? How about a remaster of two of the best action sports games of all time? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is also coming to PS Plus next month. The original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is more than 20 years old by now, and the remaster doesn't do too much to change up the gameplay, which honestly is a very good thing because you can't really improve upon perfection. We gave Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 a 9 out of 10, saying, quote, going backwards has been the best step forward for the series. And last but not least is Little Nightmares, a stealth exploration game set in a spooky world. Now, I played this and I'm not a huge horror fan, but this game isn't too long and the environmental storytelling is absolutely incredible, so I highly recommend it. Oh, but also, don't trust anyone in that game. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and Little Nightmares will all be available to PS Plus subscribers on August 2nd. In other PlayStation news, the PS5 is finally getting a much-requested feature, 1440p support. Announced via the PlayStation blog, the new feature has entered beta and is expected to roll out to all PS5 owners via firmware update in the near future. There are plenty of gamers, like some here at IGN, that have their PS5s hooked up to a 1440p monitor, and it would be really nice to finally get a proper native resolution. Xbox Series X and S owners have had this feature since those consoles launched. However, it's time Sony plays catch-up in that regard. If you're playing your PS5 on a nice 4K TV, this really won't do much for you. But according to the PlayStation blog, quote, if you're playing a game with a higher native resolution like 4K, then you may benefit from improved anti-aliasing through super sampling down to 1440p output.
I think it's fair to say Madden NFL has been stuck in a rut in recent years. Since the release of Xbox Series X and PS5, EA's long-running NFL sim has consistently hovered around 65 on Metacritic. The complaints are always the same. It's unpolished, full of strange bugs and glitches with drab presentation. But the devs promise Madden 23 will be different.
This is the one.
Senior producer Clint Oldenburg tells IGN polish is a top priority in Madden 23, especially from a gameplay perspective. Well, that's good. Gameplay is pretty important in a video game. EA Tiburon is hoping to catch bugs using something called vision hooks, which utilize a mixture of bots and other technology to quickly reproduce troublesome problems. The Madden team is also allocating additional resources to fix bugs during production. Here's the big quote from Oldenburg. He says, "We are very confident that our game for Madden 23 is going to be the most polished version of Madden that we've had in a long time." He continued, "What I'm not going to say is it's going to be perfect, but I'm going to say that the team is still striving to reach perfection, as hard as that may be to reach. Polish is our top priority, and we know that we cannot reach our goals if our players believe that our game is a buggy experience." So that's the promise for Madden 23, but IGN readers seem unconvinced. Andrew R128 says he's read this same article every year for 15 years. Sonic429X wonders why people keep falling for this. We won't have to wait long to see if Madden 23 is a touchdown or a fumble. It's out August 19th. Moving on, Xbox has revealed the first wave of games that are coming to Game Pass this month. The big one is probably Ghost Recon Wildlands, available now. Personally, I haven't been into Ghost Recon since Advanced Warfighter 2, but IGN thought Wildlands was almost great, so check it out if you like cooperative sandbox shooters. Turbo Golf Racing is an arcade-style sports game launching into Game Pass on August 4th. You can build your own university in 2 Point Campus on August 9th, or act out The Bear in Cooking Simulator on August 11th.
Yes, chef!
We already knew that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet would be an open world game, but now we know it will include 3 main story campaigns, including the usual gym battling quest. Revealed in today's Pokemon Presents broadcast, we learned that journeys in the new world will begin with your character joining a school. From there, you'll be given a special independent study project known as the Treasure Hunt. The Treasure Hunt will see you exploring the world, where 3 grand stories are on offer and can be approached in any order. As you'd expect from the series, one of those stories revolves around becoming the region's best trainer by beating the leaders of 8 Pokemon gyms. However, this time there's no set path through those 8 gyms, meaning you can take them on in any order. The other 2 campaigns are more of a mystery, although there are some distinct possibilities hinted at in the new footage. One could revolve around the game's legendaries, who appear to partner with the player early on and are rideable Pokemon, able to act like bikes, gliders, boats, and can even climb mountains. Another could revolve around the game's new battle mechanic, Terastallizing. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This option allows any new Pokemon in the game to turn into a new gym-like form, which makes them stronger and can even change their elemental type. We'll find out more when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet launch on November 18th, bringing full 4-player co-op multiplayer into the series. Moving on, images of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer mode have been leaked through, checks notes, the LA Rams football team. Rams player Cameron Dicker revealed a glimpse of the upcoming Call of Duty game's lobby screen, which he appeared to be playing at a preview event. Having fun on the new Call of Duty, he revealed in a now deleted Instagram post, which we see here via Charlie Intel. It's thought that the high-profile event gave LA Rams players a sneak preview of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer mode. But Dicker also included a screenshot with his post, and several other images from the event give us an insight into what to expect from the upcoming sequel. Although other players also posted images on social media, it seems that their usernames have since been cropped out. Notably, one player posted a screenshot of an in-game menu showing DMZ mode, a new Call of Duty gameplay mode which has been likened to Escape from Tarkov. DMZ is short for Demilitarized Zone, in which players will experience extraction missions. DMZ mode also recently leaked, and now it looks as though its inclusion in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is all but confirmed. I don't know, this sounds like it's not so much a leak as a leak. Pro football players are invited by Activision to play the new Call of Duty. Oh, but don't promote our game to all of your Instagram followers, wink wink. If you do, you'll have to delete the post and all the media outlets will write about it. Wouldn't want that. And here I am talking about it. The system works.
League of Legends, one of the top MOBA games since its release in 2009, has been constantly pumping out content, including new champions. There was no end seen to the content being pushed out to League, especially with it only continuing to grow in popularity after the KDA collection. However, Riot dev Matt Lung Harrison confirmed that the final League champion is coming soon. In an interview on the League podcast Broken by Concept, Lung Harrison stated that the League squad is already considering an endpoint where the roster will stop adding new champions. For context, there are 161 champions currently in League, which is a lot. However, he did state that the final champion would release when Riot can no longer add intuitive characters, and that they still have a lot to flex before they reach that point. The Riot development team will be creating new champions along with balancing previous ones, so we don't have to worry about the end of new champions yet. Though, honestly, how many more interesting characters can you add after 161? Staying with Riot, the announced fighting game Project L is set in the world of Runeterra, and it finally got an update out to fans after a long time of silence. Project lead Tom Cannon confirmed that the game will be free to play at launch and will include Illaoi as a playable character. In the dev diary post, Cannon detailed that he was leaving to attend EVO and that there is a very slim potential for any sort of reveal during the tournament, by saying there will be an update out later this year. It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, we take an in-depth look at the new Star Wars Andor trailer and hear a little bit more about why the Batgirl movie was cancelled. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Will Smith has done the age-old tradition and made his very own YouTube apology video for his Oscar slap. But before that, HBO has cancelled the upcoming standalone Batgirl movie, even though it's inches from being finished. Let's check out some more details.
The Batgirl movie was slated for release later this year, but in a shocking move, the film has been cancelled. According to Variety, studio insiders say the cancellation had nothing to do with the quality of the movie. Rather, the new management at Warner Bros. Discovery decided it didn't fit their vision for what DC movies ought to be. You see, Batgirl was conceived in 2021 as a smaller budget $75 million film made specifically for the HBO Max streaming service. It was later bumped up to a streaming and theatrical release, the budget ballooned to $90 million, and the film was given a bigger scale with Michael Keaton's Batman joining the cast. But apparently all that was not enough for the new studio heads who took over in 2022, because they want DC movies to be big budget blockbusters specifically made for theaters. Batgirl wasn't the only casualty of this line of thinking. The Scooby-Doo animated feature Scoob! Holiday Hunt was also given the axe. Both of these movies were all but finished, which makes it all the more mind-boggling they were outright canceled. Just to emphasize, canceling a movie is not normal. Traditionally, a studio will release virtually anything, whether they think it's fresh or rotten, just so they can make back some of the money they spent. The Batgirl movie featured rising star Leslie Grace as Barbara Gordon, Brendan Fraser as the villain Firefly, J.K. Simmons reprising his role as Commissioner Gordon, and again, Michael freaking Keaton returning as Batman. That's a pretty stacked movie, but not stacked enough for WB. Warner's released a statement about the cancellation, which explains that their decision was due to a, quote, strategic shift for the DC Universe and HBO Max, and assures that axing the film had nothing to do with Leslie Grace's performance, and in fact, it says how grateful they are to the cast and filmmakers, and they can't wait to work with them again. Okay, take it from me, when your ex dumps you and that says they still want to be friends, that never works out well. The directors, who you may know from Bad Boys for Life and Ms. Marvel, made a post on Instagram saying how they were, quote, saddened and shocked by the cancellation, and offered hope that maybe one day fans will get to see what they created. But seeing how strictly Warner Bros. Discovery is enforcing their new philosophy for DC films, it's hard to imagine they'll ever change their minds and at least give the film a streaming release. So for now, Batgirl joins Roger Corman's Fantastic Four in the category of superhero movies that were made but never released. So now it's time to sound off in the comments. I understand what the studio is saying, but I still think it makes no sense. I loved how they were doing the Batgirl of Burnside vibe, and the costume looked great, and we've been long overdue for a Batgirl movie, and it's already been shot. But what do you think? Let me know down below. Next up, the Game of Thrones prequel series House of the Dragon is going big on the dragons, as you'd expect. The show is set 200 years in the past, in an era where the Targaryens were in full power and ruled the land with over a dozen dragons, and we'll be meeting 9 of those fire-breathing beasts in the first season, but they won't be like the ones we've seen before. Series co-showrunner Miguel Sapochnik explained that each dragon will have distinct traits and personalities, saying, quote, one of them's got a bad leg, another one's much more like an eagle because she's kind of neurotic, and another one's like a curmudgeon-y old granny. Okay, cool, why not? I can't wait to meet Sleepy, Dopey, Bashful, and the rest of the gang. Finally, She-Hulk Attorney at Law has been delayed by 1 day. That's right, Marvel's next Disney Plus show is moving to Thursdays and will now premiere on August 18th. This move makes a lot of sense, as Disney's new Star Wars show Andor will be hitting on Wednesdays. Previously, the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ms. Marvel shows overlapped on Wednesdays, so perhaps Disney wanted to avoid 2 of their biggest shows competing for the same spotlight. Finally, a corporate decision I can understand! The Shulky Show will be a half-hour comedy that runs for 9 episodes.
All right, now after 3 long months of radio silence, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has finally decided to address the slap heard and seen around the world. Now, Will Smith took to his YouTube channel to formally and publicly apologize to Chris Rock and his family for what he did at the Oscars. Now, here's the clip.
Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
Now, in the 5 or so minute long video entitled "It's Been a Minute," Will Smith calls out his behavior as being very unacceptable and how he replayed it back in his head to try and understand the nuances and complexities of what took place in that very moment. Now, he reiterated that his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, didn't tell him to do anything at that very moment, also apologizing to her and his family for the amount of heat they received from his actions. Now, he apologized to the fans and the folks that look up to him, saying he's sorry for letting them down, and he then ended it all by saying this.
I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world, and you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Now, from the comments of the video, the comment section, the majority of individuals seem to be in support of Will Smith's apology, seeing it as inspirational and humbling. But you know what? I want to pass things off to you all. I'm curious to know what you think about Will Smith's apology. Are you ready to accept him back into your household, watch him in movies and TikToks again? Sound off in the comments. All right, now in other news, MGM might have just fumbled the ball and lost the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise. Now, according to the Wrap, the rights to the film franchise lapsed after MGM failed to greenlight a Tomb Raider sequel in a timely fashion, which now means the franchise is up in the air. Now the franchise has entered a bidding war in Hollywood, with many studios throwing big bucks to snatch up Lara Croft. Now, the next movie in the franchise is reportedly slated to be yet another reboot, with a new actor stepping in to fill Lara Croft's combat boots. Now, who'll snatch up the rights to the franchise remains to be seen at this moment, but we'll keep you filled in as news breaks. And finally, seems like Ben Affleck just can't step away from the cape and cowl long enough to do other stuff. He's apparently donning the suit for Aquaman 2. Now, in a series of photos posted to star Jason Momoa's Instagram account, you see the two actors happy as can be, with the caption reading, quote, "Reunited Bruce and Arthur, love you and miss you, Ben. WB Studio Tours just explored the backlot, all right. Busted on set, all great things coming, Aquaman 2, all my aloha J." Wow, man, that guy needs to learn how to use punctuation. Anyways, so it's a safe assumption to say that Ben Affleck's Batman will be making a cameo in the upcoming Aquaman sequel, along with him appearing in next year's Flash movie. Now, for a man who claims to be stepping away from a particular role, we sure as hell are getting a lot of him these days in DC movies.
Star Wars fans who are looking forward to the upcoming Disney Plus series Andor will no doubt be happy with the new trailer that just dropped, showing us more of the moody spy thriller set before the events of Rogue One. But those same fans, namely me, will be sad to hear that the show has been delayed almost a month, as the premiere was pushed from August 31st all the way to September 21st. But abruptly changing plans, pretty spot on for Star Wars.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
But it's not all bad. Disney revealed that the show will debut with a 3-episode premiere. So even though we have to endure a delay, at least they're going to quickly make up for lost time. A delay is never fun, but looking at the Disney Plus release schedule, it does make sense to push Andor back from a certain point of view. You see, the new Marvel show She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, starts on August 17th and runs for 9 episodes. So moving Andor back gives Shulky more room to flex those lean green muscles without having to compete for the spotlight. We all saw how the Obi-Wan Kenobi show overlapping with Ms. Marvel didn't do favors for either show, so perhaps Disney has learned a lesson and is doing its best to give each show its own time to shine. So while we all wait for the oversized premiere, let us know what you think about the new Andor trailer. I'm actually really digging it. It's moody and serious, and it's something I didn't know I wanted from Star Wars. I can't wait to see it. But how about you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Next up, we all heard how Sylvester Stallone was upset because he wants the Rocky rights back, but now he's even more mad after the news of an alleged Rocky and Creed spin-off called Drago. The project reportedly would see Dolph Lundgren reprising the role of Rocky IV's Big Bad. When Stallone heard the news, he popped off on Instagram, calling out Lundgren for not telling him about the project and calling out producer Irwin Winkler for what he sees as a great many wrongs. The post reads, quote, "Heartbreaker, just found this out. Once again, Irwin Winkler, this pathetic 94-year-old producer, and his moronic vulture children, Charles and David, are once again picking clean the bones of another wonderful character I created without even telling me. I apologize to the fans. I never wanted Rocky characters to be exploited by these parasites. By the way, I once had nothing but respect for Dolph, but he never told me about what was going on behind my back with the character I created for him. Real friends are more precious than gold. Stallone has already pulled out of Creed 3, and it looks like he's adamant about not participating in the franchise until this matter is sorted out. But in the meantime, Lundgren attempted to smooth things over with his former co-star in his own Instagram post, explaining that this is a press leak and that no script, director, or official deals are in place, and that he was under the impression that Stallone would be involved as a producer. Hopefully these two can sort things out. If not, maybe they can settle it in the ring, though the last time they did that for real, Dolph put Sly in the hospital. Either way, we'll keep you posted on any future Rocky updates. And finally, Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland reflected on past hardships and promised good things for the upcoming 6th season of the Adult Swim show. While talking to IGN at San Diego Comic-Con, Roiland shared how the tragic passing of show producer J. Michael Mendel in 2019 deeply affected him and his work on the show, which, to use his words, made Season 5 a tough and weird experience because they were all thrown for a loop. Looking ahead to Season 6, Roiland teased, quote, "I will say it's a bit more canonical. It really rewards fans of the show that have been watching up to this point. So it's like, I think we're kind of finally back into the rhythm of Rick and Morty. I didn't particularly think Season 5 was bad, but Season 6 is amazing." The new, apparently amazing season of Rick and Morty debuts this September.
I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Weekly Fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.